Dear investors, what will you do if a stock price drops after your investment? See, this is one of the most frequently asked questions among the investor community, and I hope you might already noticed that आपने कुछ शेयर खरीदा उसके बाद प्राइस गिर गया. आपको लग सकता है कि मेरे साथ ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है, मैं खरीद रहा हूँ और प्राइस गिर रहा है. The question is you might got puzzled. What to do now? See, if you are in the stock market for the last 2-3 years, then it must already happened with you. Now the question, what to do? There are three options. Either you can buy more or hold the share, or you can sell. Now whatever you do, remember that plays a very important role in your investment success. And in this video, I'll address that very critical part of the investment process. What to do once the stock price comes below your investment range. So if you watch the video carefully without skipping any part, then I am sure you will gain a lot of insights. I am Prasenjit Paul, authored the best-selling book How to Avoid Loss, and I am consistently in the stock market, and also I am actively investing in the stock market since 2010 and attained financial freedom from stock market itself. So let's focus on the topic, what to do once the stock price corrects after your investment. First of all, you need to remember that this is very common practice, and even if you invest the best business in the world, then also sooner or later stock price will correct. It happens with every investor, no matter whether he has an experienced or amateur or beginner, whatever be it, it is very normal, it is very common thing that after your investment, sooner or later stock price might come down below your purchase price. So first of all, be prepared for it. Whenever it happens, don't panic. Be prepared for it. This is a very common practice. And once you are prepared for this event, then take a logical decision based on facts and figures. Now the question is, there are so many facts around any particular stock. Now, if you analyze a stock based on fundamentals or technicals, whatever, if you go by the fundamentals, you will find there are hundreds of parameters, be it like the inventory, then receivables, then cash flow, and so many. So if you, combine all this data, there are tons of data. Even if you follow the technicals, there are tons of data. There are huge number of data. So which to follow and what to not? Because if you are going to follow so many parameters, you will find some parameters and different parameters are showing contradicting signs. It means, suppose you are following the inventory growth rate, so which is showing some negative trend, then you are following receivables, which is showing some positive trend, and you might get confused in this process. So the purpose of this video is I'll share the most important fact, the most important parameter that you can focus to make your decision, like what to do whenever stock price falls. The most important parameter behind stock price movement, whenever I'm saying stock price movement, I am saying behind the medium term to long term stock price movement. So you can consider the stock price movement over a period of 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, or 1 year, or maybe longer than that. So the most important parameter behind mid-term to long-term stock price movement is the trend of margin. What is this margin? This is very simple. This is profit divided by sales. So if a firm earns 20 rupees profit on a sales of 100 rupees, then the profit margin, you can say this 20%. Now if on the next quarter the company can earn 22 rupees profit on the same sales of 100, then the profit margin will improve to 22%. So whenever this happens, say for example from 20% to 22%, that gives a huge boost in the stock price. And when the reverse happens, it means if the margin drops, then the stock price also follows the same. Based on the margin trend, you can take the decision whether to buy more, hold, or sell. So for example, if after stock price correction, you can see that you are confident that there is a high chance of margin improvement of the business in the upcoming quarters, then you can buy more the same stock. If you can feel, okay, the margin dropped, so the stock price also corrected, now the margin will improve in future, but you are not that much confident when it will improve or how longer it will take to improve. In such case, you can simply hold the stock. Now, if you find that that in the coming days or in the coming quarters, the margin, there's a chance of margin fall, then you should sell the stock. Because if on the coming quarters or if on the coming period the profit margin keeps falling, then the stock price will correct even more from the present day. Now, it might sound complicated to you. Now, don't worry, I will share examples from my own portfolio stocks, how you can predict margin, what are the things to consider for predicting margin trend, and so on. And also, you'll find my own portfolio stocks, my own decision making process, so that the entire thing can be simplified for you. Before moving forward with my portfolio stocks, I have a request for you. Kindly subscribe this channel and press the notification icon. See, this is free for you, but it helps me a lot to produce more quality content in the upcoming days. You know, majority 70-80% people, those who view the videos, won't subscribe. So again, I am requesting you, kindly subscribe, because it is free for you, but it helps me a lot to produce more better, more insightful content in the coming days. Let's discuss from my own portfolio stocks. The first example that I take is PI Industries. This is one of my favorite stock. Back in 2020, I have published a video on PI Industries in the same YouTube channel, and since then the stock price appreciated, jumped a lot. Now back in January 23, the stock price corrected a lot. Let's move into the screen to show what happened and how I made my own decision. This is the stock price chart of PI Industries till January 23. So as you can see, in the month of January itself, the stock price corrected a lot from the level of 3500. The stock price corrected till 2950. So that's a huge correction. So after this correction, obviously I focused. So what is the chances of margin improvement in the coming quarters or not? So for that, I have checked the management conference call, investor presentation, and a lot of things. So what I found is that back in November 2022, in the management conference call, the management was quite confident, and they have guided that they can see an opportunity of improving margin by few hundred basis point. So I have checked this entire conference call very carefully, also the investors presentations and lot of other news article and so on, and then I realized that yes, there is a bright chance of margin improvement in the coming quarters. Not only that, if you check the margin trend of the PI Industries, remember back in January 2022, the December result was not published yet. So in January 2023, so I have data till this period. So what I can notice that since March 2022 to September 2022, since FY23 itself, the operating profit margin improved from 23 to 23% and from 23 to 24%. Not only that, management has guided further improvement in margin. So this is why I have invested in PI Industries back in January 23. If you are a subscriber or follow my portfolio, you have already noticed that the stock I have invested back in January 23, and as you can see from this screen itself, I keep share my own buy sell transactions in the website for my paid subscribers, and as you can see in 27 January itself, I have invested in PI Industries with 10% allocation. Now let's see what happened next. In December 2022 result, the company published the result on 14th of Feb, and then we can notice a huge improvement in margin as well as the margin improved, so with the net profit. And now if we can check the stock price movement, so now you will find that after the result, the stock price improved a lot. As you have noticed in the video itself, like to predict the margin trend in the upcoming quarters, you must need to follow investor presentation, press release, then management interview, if you find any kind of peer analysis or the companies, those who are in the similar segment. So obviously there are a lot of hard works involved. It's not easy, but yes, if you can follow this, if you can do this, if you can correctly analyze about the margin trend, then the reward is waiting for you. So what are the things that you need to do? Very simple. You need to check the press release, you need to check management interview, investor presentation. If there is nothing such, then you can check the management interview or what management is trying to say with some peers, with some of the competitors. So based on that, if you believe that okay, in the upcoming quarters the margin will improve, then you can buy more, because if you can buy more at price correction, if you find there is a possibility of margin improvement, then the market will reward you. Before moving forward to my next example, you can check my website www.prasenjitpaul.com for all of my paid offerings. Apart from that, you can simply follow me on Twitter, or you can simply follow me on Telegram at free of cost to get updates related to the stock market. As well as I am also active on Facebook and Instagram. You can also follow there as well. Moving forward for the next example, Dollar Industries. This was also one of my portfolio stock that corrected a lot after my investment. Now let's again go to the screen and let's have a look how the things is phasing out. Here is the stock price chart of Dollar Industries. As you can see, since the last 6-7 months, the price corrected a lot. Now again, after the result, after quarterly result, I was again looking forward the conference call, press release and everything. This is the management commentary. So as you can, if you read the management commentary carefully, so the management is expecting that in the coming quarters, the things will improve. Now, if you look at the quarterly result of the Dollar Industries, you will see the operating profit margin. The profit margin declined a lot since the last 4 quarters. So from 14% to 10%, 10% to 8%, 8% to 6%. And as I have mentioned, so once for any company, if you find a continuous decline in the profit margin, then it will reflect in the stock price chart. As you can see, the stock price also declined in tandem with the margin fall. Now, obviously, while I looked into the peers, like for those companies who are in the similar business, like Lux, Rupa, so all of them reported margin pressure, and all of these companies are facing similar kind of problem. So in such case, what I can see there is a chances of margin improvement in the coming days, but I'm not sure how long it will take to regain the margin. So this is why in such case, I'll prefer to hold the stock. I'm not selling it right now, because what I can find from the management commentary and from the others company, that this might be the December quarter margin might be the bottom. So from the March quarter onwards, there is a high possibility that the margin can improve. But when it will regain or when it will be back to the previous level, that I'm not sure. So this is why I won't buy more. Rather, I'll prefer to hold the stock at this level. Now let's move forward to our next stock, Cosmo Films. As you can see from the stock price chart, the Cosmo Films also corrected a lot. Now, if you look at the margin movement, again, the margin dropped from March 2022 level. In December 2022, it is now 9%. But back in November 2022, I mean, after the September quarter result, if you follow the management commentary, the management clearly mentioned that margins are also under pressure because the near-term outlook for non-specialty films could be challenging. So back in November itself, the management was also not confident about whether the margin will regain to its previous level or not. So this is why I made an exit decision from Cosmo Films earlier, and now what I can see that in December quarter itself, the margin dropped further. If I summarize whatever we have learned so far, so first of all, whenever you are investing in any particular stock, always be prepared that sooner or later that stock price can correct. Whenever the stock price corrects, don't panic. Remember, that's very normal, that's very common. Even if you invest in the best company, the stock price can correct at any point of time. So whenever stock price corrects, try to make decisions based on facts. And one of the most important fact is margin trend or the margin movement in the upcoming days. If you can figure out that in the upcoming days or in the upcoming quarters, that margin can improve from the current level, or management is confident about the margin improvement in the coming quarters, then you can buy more of that same stock. Now the second possibility, if you can notice or if you can think that the margin can improve, but you are not that much sure, or there is an uncertainty how much time will take for the margin improvement or the margin going back to the previous level. In such situation, you can simply hold the stock. But if you notice in the coming days that the margin can fall further, then you can simply exit from the stock. Remember, it's not an easy decision. It might happen. You might think that okay, the margin can improve in the coming days, but the opposite happens. See, again, that's absolutely normal. That's absolutely fine, because you are predicting future. Nobody can predict future with 100% accuracy. But whatever happens at any point of time, take the decision based on margin trend on the upcoming days. Take the decision based on facts and figures. I am sure you can become a much better investor. Kindly share your experience in the comment section, or you can share the feedback. If you learned something new in this video, kindly like the video and share it with your friends and family. And again, I am requesting, kindly subscribe this channel and turn the notification on, because although that's free for you, it helps us a lot to make better content in the coming days. If you like this video, I'm sure you'll like this video which is coming on the screen, so you can check it out. So as of now, that's it from my end. We'll come with another insightful video on upcoming days. Till then, happy investing.